Hi guys, welcome to Snake Nook. I'm Vanny and today we're going to take a look at three of my young pythons. I have two Morelia pythons and one Antaresia python that we're going to take a look at as they spend some time exploring the snake tree, getting some much needed enrichment. I just can't believe how mild of a winter we're having in this part of Texas. It is in the mid 60s, 65 degrees Fahrenheit, or something like that. But it was much cooler last year around this time, and it was definitely a lot colder about 2 years ago. So, right now, this is pretty mild. We're really not even close to being cold. So it's a pretty good day. It's a decent day to bring out my snakes to, have them get a little bit of exercise, a little bit of enrichment. This gets them out of their enclosure and out in nature. I'm very fortunate to have these really nice trees out here in my backyard. Basically, I want to make the best use of the time when they're little and give them opportunities that they wouldn't otherwise have if I couldn't bring them outside and just kind of let them explore the tree a little bit. So when they get older, when they become adults, full-grown adult snakes, I just don't know what the tree time is going to look like because I'm assuming that at that point they're going to be quite adventurous and they're going to want to explore the higher branches, and then I'd really have myself a big old conundrum trying to figure out how to get them down from the tree. I don't think that the firefighters would appreciate a call from me asking for help bringing down my pythons. Well, hello there, Torrent. How are you, my sweet boy? This is actually the first time that he is on this tree. And the reason why little Misty beat Torrent to the snake tree and they're exploring it. Well, now they're exploring this tree together, but she came out here first, and I hadn't brought him out sooner, and by sooner I mean like weeks ago, is because he's just been more of a challenging snake to work with. Misty, no challenge whatsoever. Even day one when I first got her, she has shown zero defensive type behavior. I have not had to deal with any type of defensive behavior from Misty, but Torrent has been another story altogether. I did have to use the hook a little bit here and there with Torrent to just kind of coax him out of tight spaces within the enclosure, just different spaces that he would get into. And even from out of the newspaper, because I use newspaper as substrate, and he loves it. He is always hidden. He's always under the newspaper, and sometimes he gets between the layers. So that's a lot of fun trying to coax him out. And sometimes I can reach in there and just, take hold of him or scoop him from wherever he's at, and we're fine. He may come out swinging a little bit, but he doesn't really bite. Initially, he was only biting. But every now and then, I have needed the hook just to kind of keep everything stress-free, especially for him. And then there's other times when I can just reach in there and take Torrent, and we're fine. It is my goal that eventually just having routines in place will allow me to just go into Torrent's enclosure and just to be able to take hold of him. And guys, although I seldom use the hook to take any of my snakes out for any reason, I still recommend having a hook nearby or having a hook within reach, just because you never know when you're going to need it. I do rely heavily on the routines that I've built with them, as well as the relationships that I'm building with my snakes, because come evening time, they don't just see me when they're going to eat. They can see me just because I'm taking them out to handle them so they can spend some time with me, or they're coming out because I want them to stretch out and maybe have some sort of enrichment. I'm not always holding them just because they're out of their enclosure, or it can be that their enclosure needs cleaning and they are placed in some sort of makeshift activity area or station or anything like that. that I put together for them. And so they can be coming out for a number of reasons, and the enclosure pops open for a number of reasons. It's not always food, and that has really helped me to not need the hook or not have to rely on the hook. It is my ultimate goal with Torrent that I never need the snake hook at all. I usually don't use it anymore, but every now and then I just feel like he gets really nervous when I'm going to get him out of the enclosure. So just to kind of help him calm down and just to make sure that I'm not going to take another bite, I do use the hook just to initially pick him up, and then right away I drape him over my wrist and we're fine, we're good. And I have some snakes, well, most of my snakes have never even really seen the hook. I have some snakes that I've had for about 3 years now, or going on 3 years, and I have never once had to use the hook. I'm so happy that these guys have gotten some time out of their enclosure. I just can't believe how Torrent's personality has changed now that he's out here. He is typically quite the nervous snake, and he holds on to me pretty tightly. He's been doing so much better now, actually, but just seeing him out here in such a relaxed state, wow, I can't believe it. Like, he's just a totally different snake. It's like he knows that he's outdoors and he's connecting with nature, and he's just being really chill. The way he's moving, as you can see, this is why people say snakes move methodically. And this is what I think people envision when a snake is moving methodically. It's like his every movement is planned out, but just in a way that he's relaxed, but he knows what he's doing. He's moving with purpose. Anyway, I think they're both doing great. Misty is just loving it out here as well. I already know she has an adventurous nature just by bringing her out here for this short period of time. And we're going to take a close-up look at her face in just a moment. She's beautiful, you guys. She's beautiful. She is a wild-type spotted python. If y'all have seen a couple of my videos by now, you know that I advocate for the wild type. I feel that I just don't want to get caught up in the world of the morphs and, what do they call it? The world's first. I just don't even want to get involved in that sort of thing. I don't want to get all caught up to where I'm then just seeking like these high-priced morphs, or because I'm not a breeder, and my thing with the snakes is just appreciating them as they are. And I just think that the wild types really and truly are breathtaking just the way they are. I can certainly appreciate, and Torrent is also a wild type jungle, so he does not have that bright yellow. And the breeder actually that sold me Sunfire, which you'll see Sunfire in just a little bit, he's my Bredli. That breeder, when he saw a picture of Torrent, I showed him a picture of Torrent. And he was staring at the picture, and he started to kind of say that maybe Torrent wasn't really a jungle carpet python. But I told him, I think he's just a wild type, and there's supposed to be ocelot in him as well. But yeah, I wasn't looking for the bright highlighter yellow jungles, or this is fine. I really do think that the wild types are just very beautiful. But anyway, most of my snakes are all wild types. The majority of them are all just beautiful wild types of whatever species they are. And I can't believe how beautiful Misty really is. I have been wanting a spotted python for a while, and the same with my jungle carpet, and then also my Bredli. I'd been interested in Morelia pythons for quite a while, but I was trying to get comfortable with my royals and also my boas. Oh, and here's Sunfire. Hi there, little cutie. This little guy, let me tell y'all a little bit about him. So this little guy's really special to me because one day when I was having just a really bad day at work, and it was just a really crummy day. Anyway, I came home, and this was a few weeks ago, a month and a half ago or something like that. But anyway, I got home and it was maybe about 4:30 in the afternoon, and I was just feeling down. I walked into the room. and he was in his warm hide, and he was looking out. And I noticed his little face looking out from the hide. And so when I took a closer look at him just to admire him, I was walking in. I needed to see a little snake face to feel better. So it's really more of a quick glance. And when he saw me looking at him, instead of shying away into his little hide, he actually came out even more and looked directly at me. But it wasn't like a defensive kind of thing, guys. You would have had to have been there to understand. Like, he just came out and looked at me. He was just looking at me, tongue flicking slowly, and just, it's like as if he knew that something was wrong. And he just looked, and I just felt like, okay, you know that I'm having a rough day. Somehow, some way, you just know that I need a little snake therapy right now. And so I reached into his enclosure, and usually he holds on to something, one of his little vines or the perch or something, before he comes out. And I have to be a little cautious. I have to kind of wait a little bit for him to let go. And this one time, guys, he just came with me. It was that simple. Somehow, some way, this little creature knew that I just needed to have a little snake hug or something like that. So I do think that these animals can be therapeutic. So I forgot all about my bad day for a little while, and I spent some time with him, and he hung out on my messy bun that I had going on my hair, and he just made the afternoon/evening better for me. So my snakes are very important. I think that they chose me. I really do. And I'll tell you guys about that in another video. But I really do feel like the snakes chose me as their keeper. And I feel like I do have a bond with all of my snakes. Even with Torrent, I know that I'm building a bond with him. Of course, it's not the same type of bond that you can have with your pet dog or your pet cat, because that's very different. They're obviously very different animals. And so it would never be the same type of bond, but there's something there, guys. There really is. If you spend time with your snakes, and I don't just mean like once a week and then forget about them the rest of the week. I spend a lot of time with my snakes. I take them out often. Some, if I can, even daily. There's a couple of snakes that are really good about getting handled very regularly, and they're fine. They never get stressed out. If you have the opportunity, guys, to take your snake out, or your snakes, if you have more than one, take them out almost daily if you can. Establish those routines with your snakes that they get to come out regularly. They get to see you, and not just because it's feeding time. Look at this gorgeous little girl. She's just beautiful. I'm so glad I decided to get her, you guys. I've been interested in Australian pythons for quite a while, but I was getting really comfortable with my boas and royals. But I am so glad that I do have this beautiful spotted python from BHB Reptiles, and my other two, my Morelia Bredli from Go For Your Pet, and Torrent, he's from PJC Reptiles. Thank you so much, you guys, if you've made it to the end of this video. I appreciate your time. I'm glad that you got to spend some time with me and my beautiful little snakes. And I hope that I didn't bore anyone with some of the things that I was talking about. I really did not have a clear topic that I wanted to discuss on this video. I just thought I'd let the video roll, and then I'd just have some conversation with you all. But thank you so much for watching. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Give us a like. Thank you so much, y'all. Have a good one. Bye.